for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the place where real dialogue matters.
Make some noise for that sound, man.
It is time to take flight with Audio Airstrike.
You do anything for Valentine's Day?
No.
Okay.
That's in the podcast right there, man. Hey, Audio Airstrike.
I just figured I asked, but I didn't know.
Nah, I didn't do anything. I sparred.
Oh, you sparred?
Yeah, I sparred. Went down to the gym.
Oh, so you did get your training in.
I did, yeah. The other guys had dates before. I was like, am I the only one that drove an hour down here alone in the car? So, yeah, it was season's beatings. It's good. You know, it was nice. It's a good time. Got better. Funnily enough, that was a really bad day for me in sparring. I was getting beat up.
They was giving you a bouquet of hands.
They were. I mean, it was crazy.
A box of beat downs.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. Everyone was just like, it didn't matter. Everyone was landing whatever they wanted. Kids were landing spinning shit on me in there, tornado kicks, body shots.
So what happened between the time that we sparred and then that? Like,
what do you mean?
Because the time we sparred, I wasn't able to land just anything, and then get in Valentine's Day. It's like
some days you just like aren't your day. You know, like it happens in the weight room. It can happen in the gym. I'm gonna go down tomorrow again. God, maybe they hit me too many times. I can't even formulate sentences. I'm gonna go down tomorrow. I do suspect that'll be a better one, but I think you just have sometimes sessions where you just can't, like, it just wasn't good. I got dropped by a body shot early. I kind of never found my wind again after that. It was bad. Yeah, dude, it was just bad.
Yeah, I understand that.
What did you do? Did you go on a couple dates?
Went on a couple dates. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see how it goes and go from there.
Emphasis on couple.
There's a couple dates. Just cut two.
Couple dates in the same day. 2. Ev went from one to the other. You literally texted me.
No, that was no. Now we ain't doing all that. I was not that bad.
He was texting me. He's like, "This is boring. I'm going to the next one."
Well, we'll see where that all goes. But I wanted to kind of talk about Valentine's Day because does it feel kind of like forced, commercialized to pressure couples into, hey, you have to do something for me. This is my day.
Asking the obvious questions here, of course it is. I mean, that's the most, like, does the sun come up in the morning? Is Valentine's Day a made-up holiday for people to buy things that has way too much sentiment? How did that get made? And then how is it Saint Valentine or something?
Yes. Let me look up the history of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
While you're talking.
You know, like, I know it's a Christian holiday. And then now people...
Is it?
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then it's just... You know, because it's a baby with a bow and arrow. Then it became something that's way more commercial.
Okay, here we go. Valentine's Day may have originated for Lupercalia, a Roman festival that celebrated fertility in mid-February. The festival included pairing off men and women by lottery. And then
St. Valentine, there he goes right there.
And then the holiday is named after St. Valentine, who may have been based on 2 men executed by the Roman Emperor Claudius. I may be pronouncing that wrong, forgive me.
I think.
Claudius II in the 3rd century. One legend says St. Valentine wrote a love letter to a young girl he tutored while in prison, singing it from your Valentine. A little bit of history about
signing that
Valentine's
from his
Day.
Valentine. Yeah, I mean, and then now we have, like, candy that you send to your girlfriend, or else she gets mad at you. The wackest fall off in history.
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like there's a little bit too much pressure there. And I know that a lot of people are saying it's the effort that counts, but let's be for real. If you popped up, let's say you was in a relationship, you popped up and it was like, hey, babe, like, we're not going to do anything for Valentine's Day. I feel like we're being pressured by the government. We're being pressured by society for me to take you out and this and that. We should focus all this attention on our anniversary. That girl is going to flip out.
Yeah, it's a great way to end up on the couch.
That girl is going to flip out. Same thing I feel like a dude will do the same thing too. If the girl says that to a guy,
If my girlfriend said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, you're actually kind of right. Do you want to just do something nice for dinner tonight? I mean, again,
depends on the partner.
Yeah, but like if it's someone where like the trust is already there, then I feel like that's a conversation. Like if it were my ex, shout out to you. Hope you're doing bad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I hope you're doing well. So if it was her, I mean, I'd be like, all right, well, now I know something's going on because she never gave me a reason to trust her. But like if there's already, you know, like if there's an equal level of attention and love and care in the relationship, her being like, hey, honestly, I just feel like Valentine's Day is like a dumb holiday. Do you want to just celebrate each other because we want to celebrate each other and not because a day on the calendar says we have to? I'd be like, oh yeah, actually, cool. Yeah, let's go get dinner. I'll get dinner. You know what I mean? We'll order in. We'll watch a movie. We can get candy. We can get ice cream. We can like just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I think
Sounds way better than paying fucking $75 extra
75
to book a restaurant. Yeah, I was in South Carolina for Valentine's Day, and at 5 p.m. everything was all booked up. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a stress factory. That's what it is. It's literally like it's a holiday that creates problems and is a meaningless way to show someone that you care about them. When it's also, I feel like if you really are putting in the maximum level of effort, like we know a guy, a dog that we know that will literally just buy his girlfriend, not girlfriends, girlfriend, flowers because she exists and because he's happy that she does and is in his life, and because she's very close to him. That's like, I feel like Valentine's Day just becomes something dumb where it's like, yeah, I already like that's a good way of saying it. It's like every day for him is kind of like its own little Valentine's Day where there's different ways to show someone you care about them. It's almost a little bit of a slap in the face too to like put in extra effort because it's a certain day.
Shoot, you putting in more effort on Valentine's Day than the actual anniversary.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes,
so,
man, like it's crazy.
It's crazy.
$200 plates each.
Yeah. Birthdays, I feel like should be a special thing. Anniversaries, and Christmas, Thanksgiving. Besides that, like what? Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter. Depends on if you're more religious or not. Like I don't really do anything for Easter because I'm Jewish. But I mean, I guess it's like it's different strokes for different folks. Like a lot of people like the soapy, the soapy kind of Lovelace thing of Valentine's Day. I'm coming off like a major hater right now. I'm coming off like the single man that I am. But I just feel like even if I was in a relationship, granted, if it was something my partner really wanted, I'd just do it anyways because I wanted to make her feel good. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if my partner came up to me and said, "Oh yeah, this is dumb. Let's just go get dinner."
I really think that at times I feel like a lot of holidays, unfortunately, in this society, we're pressured at times to like, hey, we got to get a gift. Hey, we got to go out for dinner. Hey, we got to do this. And it's kind of like that appreciation shouldn't be dictated on just one holiday. I feel like that appreciation should be kind of like all year round. And I feel like that if you're a couple, especially if you're a couple that's trying to like make it, take care of things, y'all got goals y'all trying to reach, let's just say, hey, you're sacrificing a couple things financially. We ain't got to celebrate. Like, we already got our anniversary, our birthdays. Like, we ain't got to worry about Valentine's Day. This is the goal we trying to get to. Let's get to that. Granted, that has to be a conversation because you can't just spur the moment 2 days before Valentine's Day and y'all never had this conversation. Be like, oh, I'm not going to get you anything because we got to focus on this and grind. It's going to cause a little bit of a problem. However, I think if couples really sat down and was like, hey, how are you feeling about, like, how do you feel about giving each other gifts and for anniversary, birthdays, and stuff like that, or Valentine's Day, like, how do you feel about it? I think having that conversation is something that a lot of couples don't have. It's one of those unspoken things that's kind of expected because on this day, hey, we need to celebrate this, versus asking the question, why are we celebrating this? Does our love bank on this Super Bowl, this so-called like marketed Super Bowl of this is y'all couples day. This is where you guys need to show your love for each other is on this particular day. Versus I'm doing that every day, every week, every month, every year.
That's got Girlfriend's Day too. You know, that's another one where I feel like people are expecting a post, maybe a little bit of dinner. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that you shouldn't take your girlfriend out a lot. Like I feel like once I get into a relationship, I'd want to go out on dates a lot. I feel like that's a fun thing, and I don't have any like I have no quarrels paying, but to me it's just like it's more dependent on what the other person wants. But to me, like yeah, anniversary, my birthday, and maybe National Boyfriend's Day, I'd want something, but it doesn't have to be anything big even if it's like a dinner, even if it's, you know, if you're struggling financially, that's fine. We'll figure out something else, you know. But it's not like I'm just a big believer in relationships being what they are. And if you like someone a lot or you love them, there's different ways to show it, and it doesn't necessarily need to be tied commercially to a holiday or a date.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. How do you feel about Galentine's Day?
Galentine's Day.
Well, Galentine's Day, for those of who, I mean, I'm pretty
Please
sure.
explain.
So, females that are single,
Yeah.
they kind of get together and
I
they
knew it was
have.
the entire time. I was just joking.
Oh, you want me to explain? Well, I'll continue to explain.
Explain it to the audience.
So, Galentine's Day is a bunch of single ladies get together. They have a good time. Maybe wine. They may share candy with each other, talk, chill, whatever. It's really a chill time, just with like a Valentine's Day theme. I don't mind it. I think it's a good way to get your friends together. I do think this is just me. If we're going to play it equal, I do think the fellas deserve some type of
Valentine's Day
or something. If single females are out here doing that, I think single men should be out there, you know, getting the guys together. We just hang out and have a good time.
We could do that any day. That's the thing. It's kind of like dumb. It's like this holiday in any of its forms. Galentine's Day, Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day is all things you could just go do with free will. Like, oh, I want to hang out with my friends. Okay, cool.
Make a phone call.
Make a phone call. Hey, I want to show my girlfriend I appreciate her. Buy her flowers, take her out to eat. Tell her you appreciate her. You know what I mean? Get her candy if you want. But why on earth does it have to be tied to February 14th, 17th?
February 14th. The fact that you
I've
don't
been
know
single too
Valentine's
long.
Day is crazy. Yeah, you've been single for a minute.
To me, it's just like, all right, well, we don't have to just do that February 14th. You treat your woman like a queen always. Not just on February 14th, baby.
Let me ask you this question.
My DMs are open and I'm single. Go ahead.
His DMs are open. Let me ask you this because I'm curious.
Yeah.
What is your best Valentine's Day story and what is your worst Valentine's Day story that you've personally?
I've always been single. I feel like every single Valentine's Day I've been single because I was a guy who definitely didn't get girls at all in high school. College, for like half of college, I wasn't that. And the second half, momentum started picking up, but it was mostly casual relationships. So I really haven't had a Valentine's Day experience yet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm kind of shocked that you haven't.
I'm not. I mean, listen. I haven't had exactly the best go with it. No, that's not true. I've had the pleasure of rendezvousing with a lot of women.
That sounds like curbside assistance to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds crazy.
For the streets.
Somewhat, you know.
I'm just playing.
1 foot in, 1 foot out. I feel like I've had now, like I think I've just been in a lot of relationships that have been casual, long term. But I haven't necessarily had like a relationship. My last relationship ended before Valentine's. That was a depressing Valentine's Day.
That timing is terrible.
Yeah, that timing was bad. Well, you knew me back then. I was like, dude, that's bad. And the Valentine's Day before that, I was single. Valentine's Day before that, I think I had someone in my life. Can't remember, honestly. God, I sound like a crazy guy right now. I can't even remember if I had, but I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know if that one was good. I think we might have went out to eat, and then she got mad at me and tried to hang out with my friends. Yeah. So.
Did you remember what she got mad about? Was it just?
I played Bill Burr in the car, and he was like ranting about women because that's what he does.
Okay.
I was like, "Yo, this is crazy, right? He's going crazy, right? Yeah, this guy's so funny." And now he doesn't actually mean the women thing. He just like says he does that to like get people aggravated. And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that's so." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, he's crazy. He's so funny."
She gave you the short. Yeah, that was a sign. Yeah, you better
Yeah, I was
turn
so
this off.
stupid. I was like, she dropped me off, and that's when I noticed something was wrong. Because I was like, I'll see you later. Love you. And she was like, all right, bye.
She said, "Yeah, never again. This is the last time. You want to laugh at women, pal? I got something for you."
Cartoonish tires screech away. I was like, didn't even close the door yet before she. Yeah, so I was like, I think she might be a little bit angry at me. You know.
Oh my god, yo, that is crazy. Yo, she was like, bye.
Yeah, dude, it's just like, and then she like went and got gas and tried to go to the movies with a friend of mine, and she asked him in the car if he was single, and he immediately just texted me. He's like, "Bro, your girlfriend just asked me if I'm single," and I was like, "Well, first off, she's not my girlfriend." You know, I'm saying too much right now.
But that is a good friend that.
Oh yeah,
they popped that
guy,
text and
shout
looked
to him.
out.
Yeah, he's the best.
That is a
He's
good
the
friend.
He was like, your woman right now is asking me if I'm single and then saying it's one single party in this car. I was like, well, bro, I mean, I guess come on back at your earliest convenience.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, but that's on me. So that was my Valentine's Day back then, but I really haven't had, I guess that's a bad Valentine's Day story. Haven't had a good one. The podcast took a dark direction.
No. I mean, it's actually pretty interesting because that girl was out of pocket. I mean, I get the whole she didn't like what was being, she was being said on the Bill Burr, but I was like, come on now.
That's also like
it's not like you said it.
I caught up with her recently, and she said it was because she wanted to get my attention, not because she was actually going to cheat, which I believe. I think she just wanted to do that to like, so that I would maybe get protective or something, or like say that I was dating her. That was at least what she said her logic was, which again I can kind of see, but we both agreed. I talked to her and I was like, listen, I did some things wrong, but like that, come on. Like, how do you think that's gonna work?
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna look straight in the camera when I say this. Ladies, stop doing stuff to try to see if the guy's gonna fight for something. Stop doing that. Stop playing around. Stop playing those games. Be literal, be intentional with what. This is the one time I'm going to say, y'all need to do this. I don't like doing this. I like to give people room to think. But for goodness sake, guys are literal. If you tell us I want this, the way that we process that is you actually want this.
We don't have the emotional bandwidth that you guys do.
No, it ain't emotional bandwidth. We ain't got time for these games.
No, it is. We're not as complex as them in the brain. That's exactly what it is. Because what we say is like, what we see is, okay, you're hanging out with my friend, and you're asking him if he's single. Oh, you want to have sex with him? You want to do that? Like, it never occurred to me that she did that to make me angry until someone else told me. Because we are very literal.
But that's gaslighting as hell, though.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, most guys don't have the ability to get, like, we're just kind of dumb in that we'll be like, well, if she's hanging out alone with him and asking if he's single, that must mean that, you know, like, we don't see the 3D nuance to what people do sometimes. Because even sometimes, I mean, like, and it's not all women. I'd say it's not even the majority of women that do this, but I've met some women that do incredibly calculated things, and I'm just like, how did you even plan that? Like, how did you even conceive of that? Or I'll be out with a woman, and like a woman will touch my arm in a certain way, or like talk to me in a certain way, and like one of my friends who's a girl will come over and be like, oh, she was so into you, and I'm like, what? She asked me how the weather was. She's like, oh no, but the way you did this and the way you did that, or the way she did this and the way she did that, the way she touched her arm and the way she like drifted it down, it's like, oh. And I go up and the girl is actually interested. So women, I should say, women see this like it's like the code in the Matrix. They have like a different way of viewing social interactions and viewing how to get the most out of someone that is very interesting to me, and I haven't quite cracked the code on yet. Because I am a very literal person, and I think sometimes maybe to a fault I take people at their word. Because at that point I was like, and I told her this when we talked recently. I said, yeah, at that point, I mean, that killed it for me. Like I wasn't gonna date you again after that, because I just thought that, you were trying to go after my friend. So I was like, and then even when people told me like, hell yeah, she's just doing that to get a rise out of you, I was like, oh.
Yeah, but
do you? The best.
Yeah, do you want to be with somebody that constantly is gonna? I ain't gonna say constantly, but at times it could do that just to get a rise out of you.
No.
Like that's not healthy. That's my whole point. It's like that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every woman is doing that, but those that are, that's not healthy to guys.
And she's
all.
a great person. I don't want to take anything away from her. She's not a bad person. And again, we spoke recently. She's doing well. And she freely admitted this stuff to me. We had kind of like a hash out conversation about it. And, I think she started out asking me something about what I do, which I was always bad at. The thing that I was bad at was just like communicating and yeah, that was essentially my thing was I was a very bad communicator. I was very immature, and I didn't know how to like set boundaries correctly. And so it was a recipe for disaster, essentially.
I mean, yeah, I understand that. I mean, yeah, I could get that. I mean, a lot of this stuff, and I will say this, a lot of this stuff in relationships just comes with communication and maturity. Like, there have been moments, even for me, like because of how I came up in my background, the disconnect sometimes that I would face is, hey, I'm looking for long-term relationships. Hey, I'm looking to get to know you, that sort of situation. Hey, like I'm really not, my thing that I was doing was trying to actually get to know the person deeper and try to not make the physical stuff the first thing on the table, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which it was an issue because, well, not necessarily for me, but it was an issue in me getting to know certain people because for them, the physical stuff was on the table first and foremost. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the disconnect sometimes would be, because I was coming at it like, look, I'm trying to get to know you. You look fine and that's great. But like, I'm trying to get to know you deeper because I've seen so many people get caught up in the physical aspect and not really getting to know somebody. It just becomes toxic afterwards. And that was, I was afraid to be caught up in that. So that's why I led the way I led it. So that was a huge disconnect at times because I would talk with a couple girls and it's like, yo, you're doing this, you're not really what I'm looking for. It's either that or I get ghosted. So that has kind of been, since you've been vulnerable, I'll be vulnerable. That has kind of been what I've gone up against is there are certain things. I'm not the type of dude that's going to sleep with a chick on the first date just because that's what she wants. Mm-hmm. That's just not me. I'm very careful of just going and rushing into something and not really knowing the person inside and out. And that's something, and some people take it as, oh, he's not that interested. No, I'm actually seriously trying to get to know you without that being the primary way that I get to know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a deeper layer because the looks and physical attributes, they're all going to change over time, especially if you dating to marry or especially if you dating for a long-term relationship. That person is not going to be the same person you was on that first date with. So as time goes on, you have to get to know that person on a deeper level. And so that is some of the stuff that I was saying. That was some of the stuff that I wanted, was to get to know people on a deeper level. The barrier that I came up against is that some people claimed that they want that, and I ain't dogging nobody, but some people claim that they want that when actually the physical attributes or the physical benefits was actually first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was seen through the actions. And I had to make decisions where it was like, look, we're not going to be compatible. This ain't going to work. and I did what I had to do. So, I say all that to say, man, like, at the end of the day, I think that it's very, very important, like, communication and understanding your partner, not just based off of what you want. If you know your partner does not like gaslighting of any way, shape, or form, do not do it. If you know your partner wants clues, okay, go ahead and do that. But that's a conversation. Like, you need to get to know your partner. A lot of y'all are in all types of different relationships, and I think the biggest thing that I tell people is constantly communicate, because that person is not the same person that you got with. Every day
they present differently too.
Yeah, they may present differently, and I'm gonna be honest with you, over time, the way they thought 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 6 weeks ago may be different. That person is always changing and evolving, either for the better or for worse, and you have to make a decision about what's best for you, or what's best for the relationship, or if it's best for the relationship to continue. Yeah. And I think in the grand scheme of things, I think that one of the things that I will say, and I appreciate you opening up about some of the stuff that you were kind of dealing with, was a lot of times, on platforms like this, the situations become a us versus them type of situation. What I like about this show and what we do, especially when it comes to pop culture, like, it's not about, hey, how do we make the person of the opposite sex look bad? It's about, hey, this is what I learned from this situation, and this is what I could have handled it differently, and then go from there. So, for those of y'all that, see Valentine's Day as like a definitely a day to get away, and it's definitely a day for y'all to spend that time with each other, by all means do it. For those of y'all that are kind of getting sick of the societal runaround and, constantly spending money, and you seeing the cash cow of what's going on, and you just don't feel like doing Valentine's Day and want to do something,
subscribe to it,
and you want to do something different, by all means. But at the end of the day, treat your partner the way you would want to be treated, and kind of keep that in mind. That's the best thing that's the best thing I could tell you. I mean, and also, and I know people really struggle with this. And I'll tell this to you too. You have to be authentically you at all times. Don't feel like you got to perform. And anytime you got to perform for your partner and you can't be authentically yourself, that's not the relationship you need to be in. That's not the partner you want. If I feel like I have to put on a whole costume that I don't normally wear,
so there's no point to that.
There's no point at all. At this point, I'm pretty much I'm playing Halloween all over.
That's pretty much what it is. It's just it's not worth getting into at that point.
Yeah, it's not. It's not worth it mentally, physically, or spiritually. It's like, I'm not gonna keep on putting this fake output of myself, because this is not authentically me. So I will say this, like, be authentically yourself. Yeah. That's all you can do, especially these times when people are looking for real, where people are looking for authenticity. Be that. Like, because that's going to weed out a lot. Whoever can authentically be around you, that's going to weed out a lot, and then you're going to find the partner that you're looking for. So absolutely. I'm just kind of saying that to encourage all the couples out there, or even single people too, that are still looking for that person. All right, well, I appreciate you. Oh, hold on. Make sure my...
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Yep. Appreciate you.
All right, folks. We are gonna be hitting y'all with a couple of short clips on TikTok and Instagram. Look out for that. Also, our full episodes will be on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to all those platforms. We definitely gonna flood y'all with enough content, and then we will see y'all next week.
See y'all.